Welcome to the Life in Pink podcast, where dreams come true, women are inspired, and wealth is our business. I want you to know that you matter, and life is much better with you in it. So, welcome back, ladies and listeners. I hope you all are doing well today. And as always, it is an honor to be here on the podcast with you guys today. So I really hope this episode catches you in the best mood ever, because today I want you to tap into your inner luxury, okay? Because there's a version of you that already knows that you deserve more. And I'm not talking about more in the sense of things. I'm talking about more in the sense of the way you experience life, the way you move slower, the way you choose intentionally, and the way that you don't rush into spaces that don't honor you or your energy. This is your inner luxury. Okay? It's not about designer labels. It's not about 5-star hotels. It's about how you speak to yourself when nobody is listening, when nobody else can hear you. It's about the boundaries that you just stop apologizing for, okay? It's about choosing peace even when commotion seems most familiar. And luxury is waking up and not immediately reaching for stress. It's saying no without guilt. Luxury is creating a life that feels soft, even if the world is hard. So today, ask yourself, where am I settling for less than I deserve? And where can I add softness instead of pressure? Where can I choose myself fully? Because the truth is, you don't become more luxurious, okay? You remember that you already are. And maybe inner luxury isn't something that you just add to your life. Maybe it's something that you return to. Because somewhere along the way, you were taught that rushing meant success, right? That burnout meant you were doing just enough. You're not doing something unless you're burnt out. You're not doing enough. But that softness was not something that you should have to earn. Being soft should be something that you get naturally. But luxury, real luxury, won't ask you to prove yourself. As a matter of fact, it invites you to slow down long enough to feel your own worth. So think about the way you move through your day. Do you savor it or survive it? Are you speaking kindly to yourself, or do you only speak kindly to yourself when you've done something right? Because inner luxury is found in the smallest, quietest choices. Like in the way you make your morning coffee, not as a task, but as something that's just done as a standard, just something you normally do. It's in the way that you allow yourself to rest without turning it into some type of reward system. And it's in choosing environments and conversations and people that feel like exhaling, not tension. And here's the truth that most people just don't say out loud. You can definitely build a beautiful life and still feel disconnected from it. So if you're not treating yourself like someone who belongs in it, what would change? The only thing would change is if you did. That's the only for sure change. If you walked into rooms like your presence was enough just by itself. If you stopped over explaining your needs, if you trusted that your desires weren't too much, but actually guiding you somewhere better. So, inner luxury is not loud, okay? It doesn't need validation and it doesn't chase attention. It's quiet confidence, ladies and listeners. It's discernment. It's knowing that not everything deserves access to you. Maybe today, your only job is to just begin again. Try again, start again. To choose one thing, just one, that makes you feel a little softer, a little bit more important, a little bit richer, a little bit more intentional. Maybe you light a candle. Maybe you take the longer route home to listen to music or think. Maybe you finally just say no to what drains you. But that's how it starts, okay? Not with a transformation, but with a decision. Because you are allowed to live a life that feels good to you, not just one that looks good to everybody else. And that right there in itself is the essence of your inner luxury. And as you sit with this, I want you to release the idea that luxury is something outside of you. Because if you are always chasing it externally, you will always feel like it's just right out of your reach. There will always be a higher level, a better version, a more perfect life. But inner luxury, it's available to you right now in this very moment. Not when everything's figured out already, not when you finally get there, not when you're pulling up to the destination, but right now as you are. Inner luxury looks like taking a deep breath before you respond sometimes instead of reacting from pressure. And sometimes just, letting silence exist in your day without needing to fill it. And that goes for conversations as well over the phone. You don't always need to fill the empty space. Sometimes you can just sit, embrace, or listen. And remember choosing to nourish your body, not to punish it. Allowing joy to be simple in your life and not something that you have to earn. And maybe the hardest part of all, ladies and listeners, is letting go of the identity that thrives in chaos or hardship. That doesn't have to be the only time you feel like you need to thrive. Because for so many women and so many people, being overwhelmed has become the norm. And being needed has become an identity for a lot of women. Being exhausted has become proof of worth. But what happens when you no longer need to prove anything to anybody? Who are you then? Who are you when you're rested? When you're supported? When you're at ease? In your day, in your mind? Who are you then? That version of you might feel unfamiliar at first. That version of you might even feel a little bit uncomfortable because that version of you is not chasing. That version of you is not overextending. And that version of you is not abandoning yourself to keep others comfortable. That version of you is choosing you. And that's powerful enough. So instead of asking, how do I become her? How do I have inner luxury? Ask yourself this. What would you no longer tolerate? What would you prioritize differently? What would you do today in even the smallest way? And then when you figure that out, follow that. Not perfectly and not all at once, but intentionally, because inner luxury isn't built in grand gestures, okay? It's built in the quiet consistency of choosing yourself again and again and again. And it's in the way that you protect your energy, the way you honor your time, and the way that you stop shrinking yourself to fit in the spaces that you know you've outgrown. And let this be a reminder today, okay, ladies and listeners, that as I've said before here on this podcast, you're not behind and you're not too late and you're not missing anything. You are simply being invited to come back to yourself and to soften yourself where you've hardened yourself, to release what was never, really yours to carry, and to create a life that feels like home on the inside for you. So tonight or tomorrow or whenever you need it, ladies and listeners, I want you to come back to this question. What does luxury feel like for me? And be honest, because your answer might not look like anybody else's. And that's the point. So remember, you don't need permission to live beautifully. You don't need validation to slow down. And you definitely don't need to earn rest, softness, or your peace. You only need the willingness to choose it, okay? And that is where your inner luxury begins, ladies and listeners. So I hope this was a gentle, subtle reminder to those out there that are under the sound of my voice right now of how to thrive in your inner luxury. So I hope this helps you. But most of all, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, morning, noon, or night, wherever this podcast found you. And I hope you take the time to take care of yourselves. And as always, keep nurturing your spirit and embracing the luxury of living your best life. All right? And remember, until next time, embrace your softness, ladies and listeners, your strength, and all that makes you beautiful.